One of my husband's favorite combinations is mint and chocolate. It's really mint and dark chocolate. So today I'm going to make some peppermint patties. I'm going to start with 7.5 cups of powdered sugar. I know it sounds like a lot. I'm going to add 1/3 cup of evaporated milk, 1/3 cup of light corn syrup, a 1.5 teaspoons of mint extract, and 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. We're going to mix this starting on low and then move up to medium speed until a soft like dough forms. Then we have to wrap it in plastic wrap and stick it in the refrigerator for at least an hour, but for as long as overnight if you want to. There it is. So, it doesn't have to be for long. Just until all the ingredients come together. Like this. So now what I'm going to do is basically split the dough in half, and we're going to wrap it in 2 discs and put them in the refrigerator for an hour, and then we'll be back. So we have our 2 discs of our peppermint patty filling. Now we're going to slide these into the refrigerator for at least an hour, and then we'll be back. So our peppermint patty dough has been in the refrigerator a couple hours. So now I'm going to lightly dust my surface with powdered sugar. I'm going to unwrap 1 disc. I left the other one in the refrigerator because we're going to do this one at a time. Throw that away. A little more powdered sugar on top. I'm going to roll it out. About 1/4 inch thick. Woo! It's going to take some muscle. And then we're just going to cut little circles. I'm going to put them on this parchment lined cookie sheet. And we're going to freeze these for about 30 minutes or overnight, depending on, your schedule. But these need to go in the freezer. And then when we're ready, we'll dip them in chocolate. Then you just take your dough, you mush it back together, and you start again. And you're going to keep doing this until you run out of your dough. So, with both discs, I have rolled out 134 peppermint patties. Now we're going to freeze these for at least 30 minutes, but I'm probably going to do it overnight because I'm really tired. And then we'll dip them in chocolate in the morning. So, our peppermint patties have been in the freezer overnight. Now we're just going to dip them in chocolate. Now this is a almond bark. This is half of a container that I got at Walmart. You can get it at Walmart, your grocery store, either one. I'm going to use my fancy chocolate fork, but if you don't have fancy tools, you can use just a regular fork. It works just the same. And we're just going to dip, flip over, Pull out, shake off excess chocolate, and lay on parchment paper. That's it. We're going to do this until we've finished. I've decided to do this in 2 batches, so I have 2 trays. I'm going to leave the other tray in our freezer for now and do it later, just because it's too much for us to eat at the moment. So it'll stay good in your freezer, the peppermint patties themselves, for about 6 months. Not that they'll wait that long in my house, but in case you make too many, just know you have about 6 months where you can leave them in the freezer before you have to dip them, and they'll be just fine. As long as they're covered, which the other tray is. So we finished dipping. If your peppermint patties start to soften a little, pop them back in the freezer for a couple minutes, and then they'll be ready for you to dip again. It's a little warm in our house today, so if that happens to you, it's not a big deal. Just let them freeze for another minute or so. But you don't have to refrigerate these after you dip them. If you set them at room temperature, the chocolate will harden. For instance, this is one I did at the very beginning, and it's ready. So, peppermint patties.